Rain and cold slow a search after a jogger sees a car sink into the Mississippi River. Plus,
I never planned my life without all my babies.
a mother's loss fuels her fight to help make change at the state level.
Certain laws that need to be changed.
And the president responds to racist comments allegedly made by an NBA owner.
When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything, you just let them talk.
This is a live look at radar right now as storms hit southern Minnesota. This is just the beginning of several days of rain. We're going to get to the forecast in just a moment. Those storms have been causing some problems for crews searching for a car that went into the Mississippi River near the U of M campus this morning.
Those crews are trying to figure out if there's a person inside of that car. Bua Zhang is live at the scene with the latest. Bua, what do we know?
Hi, Blake and Rena. As you can see, the wind is really ripping around here and the rain is starting to come down just a little bit here. And on the river, the currents are about 2 to 3 times stronger than what they are in the summer. So it's making the search here very difficult. The sheriff's office tells us a jogger called 911 just before 9 this morning after seeing a car go into the river. It's unknown if anyone was in the vehicle or where the car went exactly. A buoy now marks where the car was last seen floating. Search crews try to use sonar equipment to locate the vehicle and see if there's a body inside, but the rain this morning wreaked havoc on their gear.
The weather's been extremely challenging for us out here. The deputies are wet, they're cold, but they'll continue to work this scene until we can get some closure.
Now that water is very dark down there. There's a lot of turbulence. There's a lot of air bubbles that gets flowing down there because it's right next to a culvert as well. So the visibility will be poor.
And as you can see, the sheriff's office is still out here looking. They're not sending in any divers because the currents here are so strong, but they are sending sonar equipment down there. And the sheriff's office tells me that they will continue to be out here as long as the elements allow them. And while no body has been confirmed inside the car yet, they're treating this incident as if there were. Blake and Rena.
All right, a lot of unknowns at this point. Thanks for the latest, Bua. The rain has been coming down all day, creating slick roads and puddles in some areas. It's cleared up a bit right now in the Twin Cities, but get ready for a second wave. Jared Sebesta joins us from the backyard with details.
Yeah, Blake, that wave is just to our south. As you mentioned, a little bit of a lull in the action, a couple of sprinkles here in the backyard after a very rainy morning. But here comes this second round now approaching the South Metro, and this is a pretty good band of some heavier thunder showers and thunderstorms. Nothing severe, but we're going to expect more heavy downpours and some lightning and some thunder. Again, these are producing some lightning strikes, so again, it's going to get noisy here real quick over the next hour or so. Precipitation rates, rainfall rates, where you see those red dots and orange colors, that's indicating rainfall rates up around 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. So again, we are expecting some heavy downpours once again. So more ponding on the roadways and in the grassy surfaces again here yet tonight. Our chance of severe weather is low, but again, it is going to get rather wet. And this is just round 2 of many rounds of rain coming up this week. I'll have your 7-day here in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll check in with you then. New at 5, a Minneapolis mother who lost her young son in a drowning accident is teaming up with Minnesota lawmakers in an attempt to protect other kids. Dave Bergman talked to her about what it would mean if the bill named for her child were to become law.
I had it framed and everything.
They are a collection of keepsakes
From his grandmother.
that remind this mom of her 6-year-old son, Tony.
I'm better than I was a year ago. It's one day at a time.
Latoya Redmond says the healing continues almost 2 years later. Her son died at Worth Beach in Minneapolis. Tony was swimming with several other cousins and friends at a birthday party, but somehow went under and drowned in 4 feet of water. The relatives that had been supervising admitted later it was too many kids to watch at once.
You have to let it go. It's hard, but it's something that you have to do.
This mother is committed, however, to make a difference through tragedy.
The least I can do as her representative.
And teamed up with Representative Mike Freeberg of Golden Valley. Together, they're pushing to strengthen the requirements for lifeguards at local beaches. Currently, there are training standards for guards at public pools, but no standards at public beaches.
There were actually lifeguards at the beach when Tony drowned, and they did have this training. There's just no requirement in state law that they do it.
The bill, which would require all lifeguards to have Red Cross or equivalent training, hits the House floor on Monday.
Add stuff to here.
Latoya says it's more than lifeguard education, but a total team effort to keep kids safe.
The lifeguard is there to be the second eye. I feel like a parent's duty is always the first.
But she hopes this is one way for Tony's life to make an impact.
And if this law passed, this will be a memorial from me to my son.
Dave Berggren, KARE 11 News.
The bill has been named the Tony Kane Law, and if passed in the House and signed by the governor, it would become law next year.
Minneapolis police are asking for help in the search of a missing man considered endangered. Jeffrey Veal was last seen Thursday in North Minneapolis driving a silver 2011 Chrysler 200. If you've seen him, call the police tip line at 612-692-TIPS. The defense is expected to wrap up their case this week in the Byron Smith murder trial. It's still not known if the Little Falls man will take the stand in his own defense. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder in the deaths of 17-year-old Nick Brady and 18-year-old Haley Kiefer. Those teenagers are believed to have broken into Smith's home Thanksgiving Day 2012. Smith claims self-defense after several previous break-ins at his home. Prosecutors, though, contend Smith planned the killings.
Some 800,000 people gathered in St. Peter's Square today to witness the first ever double canonization as former Popes John XXIII and John Paul II were sainted. This is also the first canonization overseen by two living popes, Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. John XXIII was known for allowing countries to say Mass in their own languages, thereby shrinking the gap between Jews and Catholics. John Paul II is credited with helping bring down communism in Europe. John Paul died just 9 years ago, and many in the crowd still have vivid memories of him.
He's just everything we always wanted, you know, he's always smiling, even when he was in pain. Just like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm just overwhelmed.
He was a strong voice against communism, so I think without his help and his support, we wouldn't be able to fight back.
There has been controversy about Pope John Paul and whether he did enough to handle the sex abuse crisis. Some supporters argue that the pontiff didn't grasp the scale of the abuse. For those who could not make it make the trip, the Vatican has created a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, and Twitter and Instagram accounts for the event. It's part of its expanded social media presence under Pope Francis.
Right now, an underwater search continues in South Korea at the site of that sunken ferry. The South Korean Navy has released video footage of their divers at work. The recovery mission has been hampered by bad weather and murky water. The Los Angeles Clippers basketball team takes a stand against racially charged comments reportedly made by that team's owner. As NBC's Brian Moore reports, reaction to the alleged comments continues to grow as the NBA begins its investigation.
There were signs of protest in the stands and solidarity on the court before a playoff game overshadowed by controversy. The LA Clippers turned their warm-up jerseys inside out to show how they feel about racially charged comments allegedly made by team owner Donald Sterling.
We're playing, and that's our message.
Sterling wasn't there and was not commenting on a recording first posted by TMZ Sports. He's allegedly arguing with then-girlfriend V. Stiviano about an Instagram photo of herself and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. You don't have to.
NBC News has not authenticated the audio. A team spokesman questions whether the statements are real or altered and suggested they were leaked because the Sterling family is suing the ex-girlfriend. The spokesman says the alleged Sterling recording is, quote, not consistent with, nor does it reflect his views, beliefs, or feelings. The NBA commissioner says he's investigating.
And we intend to get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible.
Magic Johnson called the incident a black eye for the NBA. And from Asia, President Obama had this to say.
When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything, you just let them talk.
Words that have now rippled far beyond the world of sports. An attorney for ex-girlfriend V. Stiviano says the audio represents about 15 minutes of a 1-hour recorded conversation, and he says his client did not release it to the media. Brian Moore, NBC News, Washington.
Also late this afternoon, the NAACP announced it has decided not to present the Clippers owner with a Lifetime Achievement Award, which he was set to receive next month.
Well, a couple of big road closures are planned for tonight, and they could make for a pretty rough morning commute.
We have a preview coming up, and weather could not stop some determined runners from suiting up and hitting the road. What they're running for next. Plus,
we got an opportunity to go home in front of our crowd and win a hockey game to push to a Game 7.
The Wild have their backs to the wall after a late-night loss in Denver. Dave tells us why they're so positive about coming back here.
And details have just been released for the Wild's pre-party ahead of tomorrow's game. You can head to gates 2 and 4 at the X. The party's from 5:30 to 7:30, featuring a DJ, happy hour specials, and a pig roast. The puck drops at 8. We'll be right back. Big road closures tonight could impact your Monday morning commute. Tonight in Lakeville, crews will start work on I-35. It will be down to 1 lane in both directions between County Roads 50 and 70. Also, Highway 169 southbound will close tonight from the crosstown to Valley View Road. This project's expected to last until July. You can get a list of all the projects happening right now at KARE11.com.
Rain delayed the start of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon by 2 hours this morning. Runners may have been a bit wet, but not any less determined. Some firefighters even showed up in full gear. Proceeds from the race benefit the Oklahoma City Bombing National Memorial. Just as wet here this morning if you were out running around.
It was just like full-fledged monsoon.
Tonight at 10.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Well, Bollywood is taking over Tampa, Florida for a huge award show.
We'll check it out when we come back. Comic-Con is at the Minneapolis Convention Center next weekend, and KARE 11 News Saturday, a.k.a. Rena Sargentopoulos, will be there live on location. You and a guest could be part of the live audience by texting COMIC to 25543 for your chance to win. We will select 50 winners, and all will get free or discounted admission to enjoy the rest of the day at Comic-Con. You and Belinda Jensen at Comic-Con.
Just me. Belinda's back here.
Oh.
We want you all to come in costume, by the way, because there will be a costume contest. Of course there will. It is a movie award show bigger than any you've ever seen, and this one you've likely never heard of. The IIFA Awards show is being held in Tampa, Florida. It's basically the Oscars of Bollywood. India produces a staggering 1,000 movies a year, and this is the first time the award show is being held in the U.S. It's being held in the same Tampa stadium where 4 Super Bowls have been played. 120 million people watch those games. 800 million people are expected to watch the IIFA Awards.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Not
It's cool.
All the rain that's out there.
Yeah, it's a little damp out there. A couple of showers coming down, some showers and thunderstorms. These are non-severe thunderstorms, by the way, but another good dousing of rainfall the next hour or two, and then just scattered showers and storms through the overnight. But it goes on and on all week. Rain each and every day, so get ready for that.
Delightful.
We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. Have a great